Good evening, members, and welcome to this very special session today with us at Ladies Study Group in Kolkata. The lockdown and the ongoing crisis has made each one of us relook at our own lives and ask ourselves some very vital questions about what is it that is actually important. And I think the unanimous conclusion has been the realization that it is our health, our nutrition, and our well being which needs to be our topmost priority. And although nutritionists and diet gurus have been an essential part of many of our lives as mentors and guides, even in the pre COVID times, today the very essence of our dialogue and our questions with the very same nutritionists and the food experts has been completely reinvented. And now we are more focused on and keen to learn how to be fit and feel fit rather than just be thin and feel thin. We all know now that we need to let food be our medicine rather than let the medicine become our food. The more we eat with thought and we eat right, the stronger will be our immunity and our strength to fend off the disease and keep trouble at bay. And to help us achieve this objective, I'm so delighted to invite to our screens celebrity nutritionist and author Pooja Makhija, who is joining us today from Mumbai to help us understand how we can eat our way to better health and better immunity. I'd like to welcome Pooja to our screens, please. Hi,
Hello,
Pooja.
everyone.
Hi, Pooja. Thank you so much for doing this for us and taking time out. I know how crazy your schedule has been today. We truly appreciate that.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
So I want to add that Pooja is the nutritionist to stars like Deepika Padukone, Karan Johar, Ranbir Kapoor, Shahid Kapoor, and many, many more. She is a functional and lifestyle practitioner and has to date transformed the bodies and the lives of thousands of people. Her best selling book, Eat, Delete, has been translated into Hindi, Bengali, Gujarati, and Marathi. And her second book, Eat, Delete Junior, is a fantastic parental read on child nutrition. She has also recently launched N for Nourish, which is India's first ever children's book aimed at teaching children about nutrition. She has hosted her own TV show and her radio show, plus has a regular column in the Times of India. She's also a very successful entrepreneur with her online portal Nourish Genie and her line of healthy snacks aptly named Nourishables. But in her own words, her most important role is that she is a mother to two adorable girls. So, Pooja, we had taken the liberty of requesting all our members to send us their questions for you in advance. And our inbox has just been overflowing ever since. So, I have collated them and I'm going to do my best today to do justice to all the questions that have come in. So, every single question is been asked by a member. And the very common question that everybody wanted to know is how did your journey with food start? You look like a celebrity yourself, so lovely and gorgeous. So, why nutrition?
Why nutrition is I don't know. I think it was destiny. My mom says I was born to do it, and I think it was my mom who actually saw the light in me to be a nutritionist. She said, "You're forever asking me questions of why should I drink milk? Who told you?" My mom used to force me to eat a banana, saying it has calcium, and I said, "Who told you banana has calcium?" And I would I'd always be questioning why can't you eat fish with yogurt and who told you that can't be done. And so my mom said, Pooja, you were born to learn about food and you constantly kept probing. And at that point in time, we had no Google, we had no one to ask these questions to. And she's saying, whatever my study background permitted me to, I gave you answers, and those answers were never satisfying. You used to ask doctors, you used to ask other mothers that, do you think we should eat a banana every day? Why do you think mothers force us to drink milk? So I think it was my mom who saw that light, and she just gently nudged and pushed me in the direction, and the rest is history.
History. And what a history, huh?
Yes.
So I know
So
that,
I always say this. I always say this. I have my the reason I am a nutritionist is because of both my mums. My mum educated me in nutrition, and she wasn't happy with me just doing a graduation. She forced me to do a master's, and she still wants me to do a PhD, which I still haven't managed, but hopefully one day in life I will. And the other is my mother-in-law, who ensured I practiced what my mother taught me. We come from a conservative family where most of the women in our house but don't have to work, was the norm. And my father-in-law said, you don't have to do this, beta. We're all good. You don't really need to go to work. And you don't, because I used to work even while I was studying, because my mom said, nothing is better than experience. So while I was studying, I was even working. And my father-in-law was like, I don't think you need to go to work, beta. We are good. We don't need to go to work. And my mother-in-law was like, you're good or not, she studied what she studied, and she's not sitting at home with those degrees. She's going to work. So I really appreciate the push that she gave me. And that's the reason why I am here where I am today, because she took care of my home, my children, my family. And she said, go fly with the wings that you have. And so I always very heartfelt gratitude to both my moms, because if it wouldn't have been for them, God alone knows what I'd be doing.
I think that's true for so many of us. I think we are what we are because of our moms. So I
Mm.
know your books are called Eat, Delete, and I have read them cover to cover, and I've understood the concept. Can you explain it to our members? Because it's a very simple concept and yet so clear.
So Eat Delete primarily came with the because most people that come to me are so phobic to eat, okay? And every time I told them that they have to eat so much food, they were like, oh my God, Pooja, really? Can we eat so much food and still lose weight? And they wouldn't believe that. So I wanted the most simplistic way to teach them that if they learn how to eat smartly, their bodies are going to be able to delete that food smartly, because our bodies are a calorie consuming a machinery, right? Every action we do burns calories. Even just sitting on this chair and talking, although even if I was not talking and if I was just sleeping in bed all day long, my body still burns calories. And that is what we have to take charge of, that how we can smartly eat so that our bodies will effectively delete. That was the concept behind Eat Delete, because most people thought that just zipping their mouth up is the way to lose weight. And the minute you zip your mouth out and don't eat the right food, you're far more likely to eat the wrong food, and you're going to lose out on health, forget losing weight. So that's how Eat Delete was born.
Makes a lot of sense. So, Pooja, these are such challenging times for all of us, especially women. And I think we are just doing so many more roles now. And our roles have been enhanced, at home. So many are working from home. We become caregivers. We're taking care of so many people. Can you give us 5 tips to ensure that we are well nourished and happy as we continue to perform these roles?
Okay. Yeah, I know. 2020 has not been easy
Not at
on
all.
any of us. And yes, we as mums and homemakers and working mums are actually, I think we glue the world together, and we glue our families together. So of course, all of us have been through, and with homeschooling and husbands working from home and everybody being at home and still being able to manage the show, I think 2020 is definitely taking a toll on most of us. It's definitely taking a toll on me for sure. I'm just waiting for the world to open up, and I feel like I'm going to run into the biggest, longest holiday. But okay, whatever. Yes. So 5 tips that I would want to give all women who need to still hold the boat, because COVID-19 hasn't gone anywhere. Our curfews and lockdowns and restrictions haven't gone anywhere. And we have lots more on our plate, not only in terms of physical aspect of good health and nutrition, but also the mental aspect that we all of us are going through in terms of the lockdown and variations in terms of our income or our expenditure. There's a lot that has been very, very different. I think 2020 has been revolutionary different, and we have to realize that if we aren't our best, we shouldn't be beating ourselves. I think that's the first thing that I would want to tell not only all women but everybody, is that what you were in 2019 and what you could do and what you could achieve and what you could manage, and if you're not being able to do that in 2020, please don't beat yourself over it. 2020 has been an extremely difficult year for most people, physiologically, psychologically, emotionally. So if you weren't doing such a good job of sometimes how you're managing your home or your work, cut yourself some slack. I keep saying that, and I'm saying that to myself as well, because I'm such a type A personality, and if things are not going according to the way I had planned, I don't agree with that, and I go berserk working to make things go back to plan. But there are so many things that 2020 really doesn't have in our hands. So we should all cut ourselves some slack. And I say that to myself, note to self as well. The second point I would want to tell everyone is always remember that although everybody's needs are, we all as women keep everybody's needs before our own. So if whether it is a choice of eating or what your children eat versus what your in-laws eat and your husband eats, your choice and what you're going to eat is always going to be last priority. Even if that is the case, please don't forget that you have to eat for yourself really well, because if you're not going to do that, you're not going to be able to do a good job of everyone else that you've put before you. So don't put yourselves so totally at the back के कुछ भी चलेगा, जो बचेगा वो खा लूंगी, या जो whatever is made for the family, I'll go with the flow. Who's going to make anything differently for myself? We could try to adjust a little bit of the family meals also to your meals or your needs. And I think sitting down and discussing that with the family, or making a family a part of the family discussion in terms of what is going to be cooked and what are the meal timings and what are we planning to eat for the coming 10 days or 15 days, really makes it very easy for us to pre-plan. So if you pre-plan your meals, and especially if you sat down and pre-planned it with all the different generations of people in your house, it just makes it easier. So please don't forget about yourself, because if you eat the right food at the right time, you're far more likely to say no to the wrong food at the wrong time. Okay, because we leave our void in our plate about not eating. Oh God, I've been in a lockdown, I've gained 5 kilos. Now I need, before I go back to the world, I must lose this weight. So I'll zip up my mouth and I won't eat and I'll skip a meal. If you're not going to eat the right food at the right time, you're bound to break that and eat the wrong food when someone's eating it in front of you, whether it's your husband or your children. Food is not calories. Food is nutrition. Food is fuel. And if you don't fuel your body right, you can't live right. Your mind doesn't function right. Your body doesn't follow right. Your skin doesn't look right. Your hair doesn't feel right. Everything, it takes a toll on every aspect of your being. And as women, the one thing that we are beautifully gifted with are hormones, which we want to go top at the drop of a hat. We hit puberty, our hormones go here. We go into pregnancy, our hormones go here. Breastfeeding, our hormones go here. Oh, then we have menopause and perimenopause and postmenopause. At every bend of our lives, we have hormones that mess us up in terms of the way we look, the way we feel, the way we handle emotions, the way our hair behaves, the way our skin reacts. So if you don't want life's roller coaster turns to take a toll on you, you've got to believe that food is your foundation, and you've got to make that effort to eat right. And if you're not going to do that, it's really going to play a very strong part in you not being at your best, whatever phase, whatever point in time that may be. So always make sure that you keep a little bit of your needs as important needs. I know these are generic advices, but I always believe that
But very
if
true, very true.
if you
And we
don't
forget
correct,
about it.
yeah, if you don't correct the basic
Yeah,
fundamental
yeah.
pillars, then saying, hey, eat a fruit when you wake up in the morning, or hey, don't do those, don't matter till you haven't understood the
Correct, correct.
fundamental reasons of good health and well-being. So I think
True.
more than tips, I think these would be my takeaways to women who want to fundamentally change the way that they have been nurturing themselves. Sleep is one very, very important aspect, which I don't want, not children, nobody in it should be ignoring it. And most of us are. Our sleep
Yeah,
timings have become erratic. Our sleep cycles have become unhygienic. Our wake up and sleep timings are not the same. So sleep, of course, all adults must get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. But that is not the end of it. If your 7 to 8 hours are not regular 7 to 8 hours, it's not considered clean as well. So if you sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up in the morning later because kids are doing online school or kids have holidays, then that's not going to work for us. So you have to find a way in which you have to have a clean sleep cycle. So I say that to the kids because kids are growing mentally and physically. So sleeping is extremely crucial. But even for us women, if we do not sleep well, of course, we already know that when we don't sleep well, we are cranky and moody and irritable and snappy. But it also directly affects our hormones. So sleep
yeah.
and hormones are extremely related. Turn on that light for me. Sorry, I'm just
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you, darling. Okay, so that was point number 4, right,
Yeah,
Dia? That
yeah,
was point number 4.
yeah. That's 4. Yeah, that's 4.
Okay,
Yeah,
and the fifth most important point that I would want to give most women is at least try and include 4 active hours a week. It could be 4 active hours together if your health permits it, or broken up if your health doesn't permit, health or time does not permit it. So you
time.
could do half hour every day versus 4 hours 4 times a week. But you must keep yourself physically active, not only because it mentally keeps you alive, but also physically keeps you more in control of your muscles, your hormones, um, your hunger hormones. See, remember, everything is fueled from food, and everything
True.
goes back. Um, it starts from your food and it ends on your food. And that's the sad part, that no one taught us that. This should have been what should have been taught to us in school.
Yes.
When they first put us in school, they should have taught us that this is the human body, these are the hormones, and this is what happens when you eat right, and this is what happens when you eat wrong, instead of teaching us algebra and a square plus b square and all of that. So but they never taught us nutrition, because nutrition is the whole
Key to everything.
center. Yeah, it is a
Center.
center of universe. If you learn how to eat right, you know how to feed your gut right, you keep your healthy flora good, automatically the phases of menopause and hormonal changes and pregnancies and infertilities could be eliminated if we just learn the magic of how to eat right in the kitchen. और ऐसा तो है नहीं कि एज इंडियंस हम घर पे खाना नहीं बनाते हैं, हम बाहर से ऑर्डर करते हैं या प्री पैकेज्ड और कमर्शियल और प्रोसेस्ड फूड्स खाते हैं. So for the West, they are now waking up. The COVID-19 has brought about a new awakening about preparing home cooked meals and eating fresh food and
Correct.
not
Correct.
eating
Yeah.
processed packaged खाना. वो हमारे लिए तो कभी था ही नहीं. हम हमेशा से
Correct.
ब्रेकफास्ट लंच डिनर फ्रेश बना के खाते हैं. एंड इन मोस्ट
Correct.
हाउसेस आई नो दैट जो ब्रेकफास्ट में बनाते हैं वो लंच में भी नहीं खाते हैं. फॉरगेट
They don't eat it. Yeah.
carrying it forward for the next 7 days or
Yeah.
processed or freezing it or whatever. So for us, eating fresh food was always something that was so instinctively natural. But what we always forget our roots. We forget what is easy. We forget what is mundane. We forget what is traditional, and we want to do what is novel. So if someone was making pasta in a cup, and you just have to put water and it becomes into pasta, and that sounded very intriguing because the West does it. So we forgot our roots and we started aping them. That's where we went wrong. So long story short, we just have to believe in our Indian culture. Our Indian culture is marvelously rich. Our Indian eating habits are the most glorious in the world. Why no one's talking about it is because India doesn't spend so much money in terms of research and an authentication. Today, the Mediterranean diet is supposed to be the best diet in the world. But if
Yes,
India
yes,
spent a little bit of time and resources and did some studies, if people would happily realize that the Indian diet is one of the best diets in the world. Indian thali is the most apt one in the world.
in fact, that was a question a lot of people were asking, what about there's this keto diet and there's intermittent fasting and there's so many trending diets we keep reading about and hearing about. What is your take on all these diets?
Uh, so there are lots of trends. And if you
A lot
want,
of trends.
see, we all like to be trendy. We all like to dress according to fashions and trends. But eventually, घर पे देखोगे तो we all dress the way we are most happy and comfortable. You can be trendy when you're at a party or a page 3 event, but eventually, what you wear on a day-to-day basis is going to be something that makes you feel beautiful and something that you find comfortable, right? Food has to be just the same. हाँ, दिखाने के दांत and दिखाने के लिए, if you want to follow trends, they are short-lived. So their results are short-lived. So, but eventually what you will do for the rest of your life is something that you do har roz. If dal roti sabzi is your staple khana, you cannot say, oh, I'm going to make quinoa salad with avocados and I don't know, pumpkin seeds sprinkled in and that flax seeds and chia seeds. They're all good food. Stick to basics is what I believe in. Do not follow fads. Fads come and go. Diets come and go. Some of them are very harmful to you, like the keto diet is something that I don't agree with at all. So some of these diets can do you a lot of harm. Some are good. I'm not against intermittent. It's a lifestyle approach. But whatever diet you do has to be a lifestyle. It can't be till you lose 10 kilos or you go for a wedding.
Correct.
It has to be a lifestyle. If you feel that not eating for 16 hours a day is a happy lifestyle for you, and you thrive in such an environment, go right ahead. Otherwise, if you feel that eating small frequent meal keeps you happier and more sane and more in control of your emotions as well as your hunger, then that's the way to go about it.
But tell me, if we are eating our normal ghar ka khana, today immunity has become the key that we all need to do. Is that enough? Do we get enough to create enough immunity in the current situation that we're in? Our vitamins, our minerals? Or do we need to add something more for those sources of those?
So sadly, our soils are depleted. Okay, so what our soils were 100 years ago, and therefore what food grew on those soils and what our forefathers ate versus what we are eating, we may be trying our level best to eat as nutritious and as home cooked and as healthy, but sadly the nutrition is depleted. So the vitamin C that your grandfather ate versus the vitamin C that we are eating is not the same. I read one study analysis that said the amount of vitamin C he got from one orange, I have to eat 8 oranges to get the same. So sadly, the food has become depleted. And when we are talking about nutrition to give you higher enhanced immunity, so you're talking about using food as nutraceuticals because you don't want to go into pharmaceuticals, then you need vitamins at a tad bit higher dosage. So yes, I can eat one orange every day, I can eat one nimbu every day, but that's not enough to give me 1000 milligrams of vitamin C that I require perhaps now. So resorting to good quality nutritional supplements is quite a necessity. I know most people do not want to hear that from a nutritionist, and they want to hear that, hey, eat amla ka murabba and you'll still get all the vitamin C. It's not so easy. And especially when you want them at these higher levels to knock up your immunity factor. I take about 8 to 10 vitamins every day, and I give my kids about.
Do they make you more hungry? There is
not at all. This is the biggest fallacy that and also, can I please tell you, this is a very Indian myth. It's a very, very Indian myth. You'll never hear anyone ask you this internationally, but India में जब भी किसी को multivitamin दे दो या B complex दे दो, मेरी भूख इतनी बढ़ गई, नहीं, उससे भूख नहीं बढ़ती है. What tends to happen is it improves your digestion. So when you get the right vitamins, your digestion becomes faster. Because you're digesting better, you may tend to feel that, hey, I finished digesting it, so maybe my body's asking me for more food. But the point here is that we don't have to fear hunger. Most people fear hunger. Most of them think, hi, bhook lag gayi to matlab koi something wrong with me. Nothing wrong with you. If you're hungry, that means whatever you ate, your body beautifully digested, which is why it's saying, chalo, or petrol deo. It's as simple as that. So don't fear hunger. So as long as you're eating the right food, feel happy and overjoyed that your body is asking you for more. Please eat it.
So
So
then how do we
don't.
balance it? Like, breakfast, lunch, dinner, how do you suggest we balance the whole day out then?
Again, go back to what your basics, your grandparents taught you, and I don't think this is anything new. Breakfast like a king, breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince,
Mm.
and dinner like a pauper.
Proper. Yes.
My nani used to tell me that. So again, I'm not giving you any new gyan. That's why I keep saying that Indian diets and our Indian culture and our Indian heritage and our Indian eating habits were and are the best in the world. But अब हम उसको भूल रहे हैं. हम लोग we are trying to now we're trying to do the IF diet. IF diet में क्या करते हैं? ब्रेकफास्ट ही नहीं खाते हैं, सीधा लंच से स्टार्ट करते हैं, फिर इतना बड़ा सा डिनर खाते हैं क्योंकि अभी उसके बाद तो 16 घंटे खाना नहीं मिलेगा. So we are losing our right way of eating. Just eat the way your ancestors ate. Of course, do not eat as much as they ate because they had that much physical activity which we don't have. So please don't eat as much ghee as my nani ate. I can't eat because I am not walking to the fields or I am not walking to school. I am constantly sitting in a car or a plane or a train. Nothing involves that much physical activity. So don't eat as much, but please eat the way they eat.
So what about bed tea? Should one start your first thing in the morning with bed tea?
Worst habit. You never start your day. You never start your day with caffeine. You always eat something before you. So if you line your tummy with food before you throw caffeine in. If you throw caffeine into an empty stomach, it's like fueling, putting ghee to fire. You're just going to have more acidity and gas throughout the day. Yes. And this is water, guys, I'm drinking. It's not some Coke or anything. So please don't be startled. My daughter just handed this bottle because it was easy, but this is water. It's called black water. I'm not trying to advertise it, but once in a way, I do drink this water as well.
Okay. But in the morning, what about the hot water, lemon, the soaked methi seeds, apple cider, cold pressed coconut oil? Any of them?
They're all good habits. They're all good habits other than the warm water and lime. So cold pressed coconut oil is a good way, but again, it comes from your total oil quota. Do not think that you can put oodles of oil in your food also and then drink 1 teaspoon of cold pressed coconut oil. Cold pressed coconut oil is good for your skin. It's good for your bones, joints. It's good for your hair. So enjoy it, but cut it down from your overall oil quota. Methi seeds are great to have a good glycemic control. So really helps people with pre-diabetes or diabetes. What else did you say? Warm water and lemon is the worst thing for your bones. So if you really want to remove the calcium from your bones, you would drink warm water and lemon. That's one practice I do not recommend ever.
And now coming to lunch, then how do you balance the carbs and the protein? There's this huge, carbohydrate fear now suddenly.
There's not suddenly. It's been there for a while. It's been there for years. Because carbohydrates were never promoted by proper lawyers. They had very bad lawyers to begin with. There's always remember your plate has to have all 5 fingers of nutrition. The first one is carbs. Okay, your roti sabzi roti, chawal, poha, bread, noodles, pasta, your carbs. Your second finger is proteins. Your dals, pulses, chicken, fish, eggs, sprouts. Fats, which is of course the little bit of oil that goes into cooking, or you eat some healthier fats such as avocados or flax seeds or healthy fats. Vitamins and minerals usually are brothers and sisters that always go together in terms of fruits and vegetables. All your 3 main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, must always be a fist. You can never make a fist without the thumb. So if you drop out carbs, you're not doing a good job of your meal ever. So all your 3 main meals must have all 5 fingers of nutrition. Carbs are essential. Carbs should be maximum at breakfast, lesser at lunch, least at dinner. Same goes for all the 5 nutrients. So you always have your best breakfast, smaller lunch, and smallest dinner. That's the simplest trick in the book.
Simple. Okay. So, what about stress eating? I know that we're all doing a lot of stress eating, especially now. Can you suggest some easy snacks that we can put together and then, eat when we are stressed, just to kill that hunger? I know that you use the word hunger a lot, so to kill the hunger
It
plus
could be
anger.
it could be something that gives you satisfaction when you are hungry. So for someone, if I tell them to have one fruit when they are hungry, that's not something that pleases them. For some people who like sweet, they would prefer to have the sugar. Sorry, they would like to have the fruit in that hunger time. Most people like something savory, so you fix yourself a bhel, you fix yourself a moong chaat, you fix yourself dahi moong chaat, you could make yourself a lovely bowl of poha with some sprouts in it. You could do upma. You could make idli. You could do dosa. There are so many Indian simple basic khana that we could be keeping as fillers, which is something that you want to eat. For example, most people like chatpata. So make yourself a ragda patties. You just don't have to fry the patties. Ragda is protein. Take your aloo, make it into a nice patty, and put it onto a pan and just saute it on the pan. Do not pour oil on it. It's a beautifully healthy snack to have. You make chaat on nourishables. Instead of fried puris, you take nourishables and you make yourself safe puris. Guilt-free snack. जब भी खाना है खा लो. There are so many things you can do, and if you put your mind to it, you'll come up with 25 more ideas. It's just that we never want to put our mind to it when we are not hungry. Usually the sensation of hunger hits us, and then we think about kya khain. And at that point in time, nobody's going to think of eating a kakdi or a tomato. At that point in time, everybody wants a bag of chips or a bag of chocolates, because at that time your sugar has dropped. So if you pre-plan and already keep some few nibblers or recipe ideas that you can just tell your chef or your help to help you with, and say bhook lagi hai, fatafat mere ko poha bana le. So whatever you do, you have to just pre-plan it. It's very, very easy. That should be the last thing that should be dragging us off. I'm not the best at recipes, guys, so I'm not giving you recipes. I don't cook myself, but there are lots of ideas that are there on the internet. आपको उसके लिए nutritionist की जरूरत नहीं है, उसमें chef की जरूरत है. खाली healthy recipes ढूंढो.
I think that's very, very, very useful. So we have, members who've asked us questions across different stages of a woman's life. So I'm going to go age by age and ask you, about the tender TLC, the tender loving calories, like you call it. So I'm going to start with the 10 to 19-year-old, the puberty. What is the thing that you suggest? What is the special thing they should emphasize on the nutrition for a 10 to 19-year-old?
So 10 to 19 is when the hormones are completely going. Okay, I have 2 daughters in that age right now. So to make them. So all the rules and fundas I taught them while they were little and were applied. Today they are like, Mom, stop forcing us to do this. Mom, I'm not having your palak juice. Mom, I'm not doing this. So now everything is it's not supposed to be your way. It's going to be their way. So all I've told them is these are the 5 things that you must be doing in a day. Jab karna hai, tab karo. Nahi karna hai, then it's up to you if you're going to fall sick, or you're not going to have hair by the time you grow older, or you're going to have bad acne on your skin, or your bones are going to be weak, and with every fall you're going to get a fracture. So I'm going to tell those 5 things which I tell my girls is minimum of 2 fruits every day, minimum of 2 liters of water every day, minimum of 10 hours of sleep every day, minimum of 30 to 45 minutes of some physical activity. Home schooling करना है, घर पे पूरा दिन computer पे बैठना है. I don't care. Just move about. Even spot jogging or skipping in the room, or turning on the TV and dancing on Bollywood songs, or just those games that they have, Just Dance. They just dance with that. So they have to give me 40 active minutes every day. And they have to have 1 serving of raw vegetables every day. Now, most often they'll have a salad, or they'll have a veggie juice, or they'll have a palak soup, and they somehow manage that quota. The rest of the meals are all given by me, so there's not much that they can bargain with. But these 5 things are things they have to do whenever and however they fancy. I tried lots to be monitoring their water intake and their fruit intake. Now I've left it to them. I said, eat both fruits together. Eat it when you want, but if you've not eaten these, then next don't talk to me about, Mom, can you buy me a chocolate? Mom, can you stop and buy a bag of chips? Then Mom does nothing. So you do your basics every day. Of course, sorry, in this, there is always 3 egg whites every day, because you need better quality protein in puberty so that they can reach their maximum potential in height, so that they can have higher immunity, and their skin and hair and all of that is good. So those are the 5, 6 things which my girls have to do on a daily basis.
In fact, taking that forward, I think 20 to 30 is called the bone bank phase. Am I right? That's the time. So, what is your suggestion at that point?
So calcium, yes, is crucial, because your banks close counters anywhere between 25 to 28 years of age. So the more you can build up the bank, the longer it will last us when we are older and going through phases of menopause and all those various other stages in our lives of pregnancy and menopause. So building backbones is very, very crucial. I'm not very, very strict on intake of milk. You can get your calcium from seeds and nuts and vegetables and grains like ragi. And that's how milk is not something that my girls drink every day. I let them drink milk about 2 times a week. Initially, I used to make them drink a lot of milk, so they like milk. And now I have restricted their milk intake, because milk has just too many hormones, which is why we are seeing this massive burst of PCOD and hormonal changes in our children. So now I have reduced their milk intake to no more than twice a week. I have very gradually weaned this off. First, my girls used to drink milk twice a day, then I made it once a day, and then I made it once every other day, and now I've made it just twice a week. So cereal and milk as a breakfast item, that's the only time they have milk, is only about once or twice a week at the max.
Yeah. So moving on to the next phase is 30 to 40. I think this is the time of childbearing. A lot of childbearing happens. And of course, there's a lot of PMS issues also that happen at this point. So think of eating for two. What about the concept of eating for two? A lot of members have asked us about this. I think that's outdated, right? I think we've all
If you eat
moved
for
on.
2, then you'll have to work out also for 2
For two.
afterwards. It's as
Correct.
simple as that. It's as simple as that. अगर आप 2 के लिए खाने वाले हो और वो बेबी सिर्फ 3 किलोस का मैक्सिमम हमारे बेबीज होते हैं, 3.5 किलोस के बच्चे आते हैं. बाकी का सारा वजन जो आपने पुट ऑन किया 25 and 30 किलोस, फिर आप वर्कआउट भी 2 बंदों के लिए कर लो, while you have one in hand and you are two of you.
True.
And what tends to happen is postnatal, our hormones go for a toss. So emotionally, we tend to become very touchy and emotional. Plus, there is lack of sleep. We feel like a cow. Everyone else is having a normal life. Husband goes to work. We are still sitting with a breast pump and sitting with a baby. Even the idea to go to the loo, you need to practice and time कब baby होगा तो मैं bathroom जाऊंगी तो ऐसे करूंगी. So nothing is in our hands. So postnatal, if you're going to say okay, आप खा लेती हूँ, it is my time to put on weight, I will give into pregnancy-induced cravings of dark chocolate Belgium ice cream, and your husband or your in-laws or whoever's pampering you with the wrong food saying खा लो. Then when it is time, when the baby is in your hand and you can't even put the baby down to go to the bathroom, where are you going to find the time to work out for 2? So
True.
you have to be very, very intelligent. Today, Anushka put up a post saying, to the times where I could sit like this. She was sitting with her feet.
I saw that, yes.
To the time where I could sit like this and eat. Now I can't sit like this, but I can still eat. I was so
Correct.
tempted to post on her post saying, hey, eat smart now so that you can always sit like this and eat. But then I said, okay, Pooja, rehne do.
I saw that post, yes.
Yeah.
So what about the next stage, the menopause stage? How do we deal with that? Because that is a big problem many women are going through today amongst the member profile that we have.
So if you eat right, menopause is going to be a period that you'll just sail through. If you have too much visceral fat or abdominal fat, as it's called, automatically your hormones go more haywire. So then all the menopause related symptoms of anger, mood swings, even depression, and hot flushes and hair fall and weight gain, they become even worse when you enter the phase of perimenopause with bad health and a lot of weight, and with bad eating habits. You keep large gaps, then you eat large meals, you don't have a good regular exercise routine. So these are the 5 most essential pillars: your exercise, your eating habits, your sleep. If you take a tad bit of importance and give a tad bit of importance to these basic 5 principles, which I mentioned at the start, which the tip I would give most women, if you will just imbibe this as an important way of living. For example, we do not forget to brush our teeth, whether we wake up late or early, or in a plane or a train, or even in someone's house where you don't have a toothbrush, you will somehow manage to brush your teeth because you know the importance of it.
Correct.
Food and nutrition and sleeping and exercise are just as integral as brushing our teeth. We don't really need to listen to seminars by a dentist to remember, oh, you must brush your teeth 2 times a day. We don't need that. But we somehow need nutritionists coming to remind us that, hey, give some attention to the food you're eating. Hey, have some active hours. Hey, do a little bit more of physical activity or sleep better. Because we take our bodies for granted. We take our food for granted. If you put
What
these
about our hair, Pooja? How do we take care of our hair then? What is the nutrition we should do for our hair? There's falling hair, dry hair, so many hair issues especially as we
there's
move
no
on in years.
there's no one magic food, Diya. I wish I could just tell you have 5 soaked badams, and instead of eating it like this, you eat it like this, and your hair will start glowing like this. There is no shortcut to anything that you want. Remember, good hair also comes down to those, again, 5 basic essentials. You have to have your proteins, you have to drink ample amount of water, you have to get good sleep, you have to have good physical activity, because till your hormonal profile inside is not right, applying 2 lakh rupe ke shampoo and 20 lakh rupe ke creams are not going to make us prettier and have more hair. Remember that everything starts from the inside, and when you want to start everything from the inside, those are the 5 basic essential things we have to learn to imbibe as a golden rule. Imbibe as something you do whether you're in London or a holiday, or you're at home, or you're in a lockdown, or you're in a plane, or you are stuck in someone else's house. Wherever you are, those are some basic essentials that I do not do without. I eat a couple of fruits every day. I have good quality proteins every day. I drink 2 to 3 liters of water every day. I have at least 30-40 active minutes every day. I sleep for 7 to 8 hours a day. And I eat balanced meals. I eat my 5 fingers of nutrition at all times. So if you follow these basic things, I swear to God, you guys will not need doctors. You will not need dermatologists and trichologists and nutritionists. We don't believe in these basics, which is why we're spending lakhs and lakhs of money on doctors to make us look and feel good, where actually all you need to do is just regularize your eating habits.
So when you're talking about eating vegetables, is it better to eat the vegetable or juice it and have it in a juice form?
You do both. You have 1 glass as vegetable juice, and you have 3 bowls as sabzi. You eat 3 bowls of sabzi, and you drink 1 glass as a raw vegetable juice, so that you get potent nutrition into your body.
But what about fruit? Fruit is better eaten raw than in a
fruit.
juice,
You
right?
always eat. Juice you can drink, or vegetable juice you can drink, but fruits you always eat. Till you have teeth in your mouth, you eat your fruit. Whether you're young or old, thin or overweight, fruit juice is something that I'm completely against. Both these tips, I have given it to you, Diya, in the takeaway.
Yes, I saw that. I'm going to share that with all our members after this.
Yeah.
I just saw
I've given
that.
you all both these, why eat the fruit and
Correct.
why drink the juice. Yeah.
And what about protein shakes? What is your view on protein shakes? And people are giving them to young children, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. What do you feel about that?
Simple now. We are forgetting our roots. We are following the West. As simple as that.
Correct.
Ask yourself one simple question whenever there's something new. Did your grandmother eat this? Then you don't have to bother eating it. If your grandmother didn't eat it, why the hell do you need to eat it? And giving protein shakes, why? When you can get the nutrition from the food, why the hell do you want to do it through protein shakes?
True. What about aloe vera juice? Is it good to have? The ingestible one?
It's not a bad one to have, but again, I don't believe in anything that comes in a bottle. I believe in whatever I can do fresh. But to have fresh aloe vera, there are only certain cultures of aloe vera which are ingestible. So then you should know how to do it right. Because most plants and vegetables lose their nutrition with overexposure to air. So by the time the company has removed the aloe vera, processed it, put it in a bottle, most of its strength is lost. So if you know how to do it yourself, it's a great way to do it. But otherwise, I don't believe in bottled nutrition.
And what about avocado? We all tend to import it from different parts of the country and eat that. What is your view on avocado?
If you're lucky enough to have access to it and you can afford it, eat it. It's as simple as that. If you
Okay.
can't, make do with flax seeds. They are equally good. Alsi dana, they are equally good. But if you are fortunate enough to be able to afford them and import them from different parts of the world and enjoy them, then please eat them.
So now India is the diabetes capital of the world, I believe. So what is your take on honey, sugar, gur? Which is the better of the three, or which are they all equally bad?
They are all equally shit, one worse than the other. सब बुद्धू बनाने
Good
के
to know.
बुद्धू
Ah,
बुद्धू बनाने के different names.
ah,
All of them all of them are sugar, whether you call it good or honey or date sugar, or coconut sugar, or demamra sugar, or maple sugar, or maple syrup and agave syrup. Uh, it's just damn sugar. So, but people think that if they put good instead of sugar, they suddenly have become very healthy and they have baked a cake with good and not sugar, then it is called a healthy cake. Um, Sugar is one of your biggest enemy. Remember that. If you learn how to eliminate sugar from your life as much as you can, the healthier you're going to be. And all the other names of the sugars I took come in the same category of sugar.
so mango, can we have mango then if you want to
That's
make
a fruit.
the
That's a fruit.
fruits are
I'm not
harmless?
talking about fruit sugars.
Yeah,
I'm talking about sugars. I'm not talking about fructose. Uh,
fructose. Okay.
of course, I eat a mango every day in mango season. Why not?
And custard apple? What about custard
Why
apple?
not? Why not? Everything God made is to be eaten. Everything man makes has to be eaten with caution.
Very well said. So, what are single sin desserts and double sin desserts? We have to have some meetha, bhai. We need to
But
have
how
a
come
meetha session.
I'm surprised how you're using my words, because single sin and double sin are my words.
So I've done my research.
You very well have. No, usually I've never spoken about this in a talk. I usually say this to my clients. Anyways,
Okay.
so single sin dessert are which have only one sin, which is sugar.
Okay.
And double sin is which has sugar plus fat. So so which is single sin, like a chicky or custard or a jelly or a rasgulla. These are single sin. They only have sugar. But then most of them come with a double sin, which has sugar plus fat. So like a gulab jamun, like cakes, pastries, ice creams, chocolates, all of them have sugar and fat. So only 1% of dessert is actually single sin. 99% is a double sin.
It's a double sin. Okay. So now, Pooja, I'm going to ask you, we love celebrity stories. All of us do. And you did mention Anushka. So I want to ask you
Oh,
about
Anushka is not
Deepika.
my client. I'm not
I know.
mentioning her because of anything else,
I
huh,
know,
guys?
I
So
know because
it's
of
on record.
her tweet today. But I
Yeah.
know Deepika and Ranbir are, and I believe you're very strict when you work with them as a nutritionist. So tell us, what was it like?
Oh, well, I'm very strict with everyone. It's not that I'm only strict with them. I'm a very strict person in general. I smile a lot, and that can be confusing to most
Deceptive,
people. Yes,
deceptive.
it can be deceptive, but I'm a huge disciplinarian. From my
You
house
have to
help to
be.
my children, and to my clients will tell you that I'm a huge disciplinarian, even with myself. So not only with others, but funny stories with celebs. I'll tell you what, they're just like you and me. They love to cheat, they love to eat, they love to be good, and they follow things very, very religiously because that's their work and passion, right? So if they have to look a certain way, they do it with far more intensity than you and I do it, because they have to come in front of a screen and the whole world has to see that. So if they have to lose particular weight, they do it really focused. So actually, they are not the difficult ones, they're the very easy ones, because they are so objectively focused that a wedding or a party or a holiday does not dissuade them, because they have a goal. So they are very, very focused. So I don't think I have most people think it's very difficult to handle celebs, but I don't think so, because they are so focused that whatever you tell them, it's like written in stone. They'll just follow it all in all, through and through.
And I believe you were guiding Vidya Balan when she had to put on all her weight for Dirty Picture. So what did you make her eat?
We made her eat healthier weight.
Yes.
See, because I had to make her gain the weight and then make her lose it as well. So
Yeah.
it's not that I had to make her gain the weight and say tata bye bye. So so we tried to gain weight as healthfully as we could so that it doesn't mess up her hormones and her weight and her skin and her hair. So quite frankly, I'm not going to remember what I made her eat, but I remember
Quite some
that I
time
made her.
back,
We
yes.
did not say, "Oh, enjoy 10 plates of vada pav or puri bhaji and gain the weight." That's not the way ever. But we did more calculated, good food, healthier fat to gain the weight. Yes.
Ah, okay. So, what is your magic mantra to look the way you do? What do you eat in a day? Tell us from the morning to the night. Like, what are your portions like? What are you eating? What are you snacking
I
on?
did a reels on it. I'm so tired of people asking me this.
That's the question.
I literally made a reels on it from morning to evening. What I eat in portion sizes, I put it down and I say, "Hey, this
Really?
is what I
Okay.
eat."
Okay. So
But
I'm going to get that.
yes, please
Me
watch that.
too.
It just makes it
We are
very
going to watch
easy.
that. I was going to
But
make it. But that one
as
tip.
a
Give us
basic
one
rule,
tip.
eat with thought. I think that's the one tip that I want to give everyone, that every bite you put into your mouth, every single bite is information. Okay, you want to give your body information to feel good, healthy, strong, pretty, pain free, happy. Every bite is information. And whether the food is right or wrong, wo aapko bhi pata hai. Okay, you don't need a
Absolutely.
nutritionist to tell you that. When you take a bite, you know that this is good for you, and what is not good for you also, you know. You don't really need a nutritionist to do that. But then you ask yourself that, is this something that's going to take my body towards good health, or is it something that's going to take my body towards bad health? Am I purposely eating this sugar because it just makes my tongue happy, or because it's Diwali, or because it's Christmas, and it's going to make my skin go bad, and I'm going to get overweight, and my insulin spike up, and my hormones go topsy turvy, and my hair fall, and my weight up? Every bite is information. Before you eat, give it a little thought. Do I really want to eat this food? Okay, I'm not saying never eat something that has sugar, or never sin, or I never eat anything that's wrong. No. But you have to, majority of the time, have to eat right. Majority, I would say 80% of the time, make sure that you give your body good information. And then if 20% of the time थोड़ी बहुत बदमाशी करना है, थोड़ा आपको chocolate खाना है, dessert खाना है, wine पीना है, go ahead, do it. But that is the 20%. 80% of the time, give your body what will improve its health versus deteriorate its health. I think that's my most basic funda that I follow to the T. To the T. It's not that I don't take a bite of the children's cake, or them eating chocolate mousse, or sometimes I order myself a piece of cheesecake because I love it. But that's not something that I will eat for breakfast. Or most people I know, like even my mom, for that matter, she'll say, "I'm skipping lunch. I'm just going to eat the cake." But that's
We all
not
do
the
that.
way.
We
Okay,
all do
so
that.
that's not the way. I'm not going to eat the right food so that I can eat lots of the wrong food. That's where you go wrong.
So tell me, can we blame the weight on our genes? Is it a genetic thing when people are overweight?
No, you are what you eat. You definitely are not what your mom eats. So I'm not going to be what my mom eats. She is going to be what she eats. I'm going to be what I eat. So genetics is just like loading the gun with bullets. Okay, so you can load the gun. So I could be predisposed to diabetes. I could be predisposed to certain problems like hair fall, or premature graying, because that's genetically induced. But the trigger is you. Whether you pull that trigger to get the diabetes depends on your lifestyle, the food you eat, how you handle stress, how much you sleep, how much you exercise. So the trigger is always you. So
We
my
can.
dad has diabetes, but do I have to be diabetic? No. My mother is overweight, but do I have to be overweight? No. So you are what you eat. Always remember that.
That's very, very important. So, there are just so many more questions, but I'm going to stop now. I know I can see you are exhausted. So but we have
I
two
wish
of
I
our
could do
members.
something. I wish I
I
could do
did
something to
that, yes,
constantly, because
yes.
I'm only talking. But yes,
And
thank
Pooja,
you.
everyone's asking on the chat, what is the black water you were drinking? They all want to know what is the black water.
Oh,
Please
guys, then
explain
it will
this.
look like an ad. It's just a bottle that came to my hand. I'm not showing you guys the bottle. It's
Okay,
a
don't.
black water. It's by Evocus. Um, um, it just has more minerals in it, which is why I keep it at home. My older daughter absolutely relishes that water. It has a little bit more iron in it and a little bit more minerals. I'm assuming because she needs more iron at this age, she's just
Possible.
absolutely loving that water, which is why I call for it. I don't believe that water has to be different or water has to be from a alkaline filter or all of those. I don't believe in. Water is water. Please drink it as you like. This water just has a little bit more minerals, so if you have access to it and if it you can afford it, you can have a bottle a day. It's not vital for life, but it can just accentuate if you add it. But water is essential for life. Even plain regular water is essential for life.
So, Pooja, I'm going to ask two of my members, lady study group members, who are going to join us. They had a question each they wanted to ask you. So, can we have them on screen? Sonam Bajoria and Srinidhi Bajoria. Hi, Srinidhi.
Hi, Dia. Hi,
I'm
Pooja.
going to just.
Hello.
So, Pooja, Sonam is a homemaker and an integral part of the Ektara NGO family in Calcutta. And Srinidhi is a jeweler by profession, a very keen investor, and a fitness enthusiast by passion. So, Sonam, you go first.
Hello,
Sonam, you can
good
ask your...
evening. First of all,
Good
I
evening.
must I will thank you all thank Dia and you for such a great and happy session. There's a small question I have, Pooja. I'm a cancer survivor, 8 years now, and my husband is recovering from a relapse of an oral cancer. So it happened in the COVID times, and so it's a real struggle. We are going through it, battling through it, and he's on peg tube feeding. So we don't really know what is good for him. Like, if you can just help me with a little bit of some tips for because it's basically liquid diet. I'm giving him
So
a
there'll
lot
be,
of protein powder right now with milk.
but which
Yeah,
protein powders?
fresh Subin, that's what they said in the hospital. So I'm not much
So
aware.
I would do more plant-based proteins for him. So you get a plant-based protein powder which is
Mm-hmm.
made out of brown rice and peas, matar. These are easier to digest for the body, and they are not made out of whey and
Okay.
casein, which I don't believe in. So try and switch to a plant-based protein powder. It's easier on the system. So I would
Mm-hmm.
say that proteins are extremely crucial for his recovery, and vitamins and minerals are
Yeah.
extremely crucial for his recovery. So you also get, since he's on enteral feeding, he won't be able to, you can't make him eat
Yeah.
the fruits and the vegetables and the veggie juice. For enteral feeding, you also get, so both these products that I'm mentioning are from a company called Fast and Up. They have a plant-based protein, and they also have
Okay.
a product which is called Active Greens, which is very, very rich in chlorophyll, in spirulina, in wheatgrass, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore all those factors which are extremely rich. So they are. It has a high quotient of antioxidants, which is something that will help him control inflammation in the body. Proteins are very important for recovery. Of course, water and
Mm-hmm.
hydration is crucial. And you'll have to, I know enteral feeding is not the easiest for the caregiver because you really don't know what you're giving your loved one, but you'll have to just
Exactly.
rely on these till of course he is able to again start eating
Yeah.
regular food.
Mm.
Take
Thank
care,
you
my
so
dear.
much. Thank you so
Most
much. Thanks. Thank you.
Srinidhi, go ahead. Srinidhi.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dia. Pooja, it was great listening to you, especially the tips on the teenage, because I have a 13-year-old at home and I
Okay.
immediately WhatsApp that to her. Coming to the active minutes that you were talking about. So I have a question. Do you think exercise, should be tailored to our body types? Or, do you think it should be tailored to our lifestyle? And also, there is this thing going around that post COVID, one must not exercise. So I'm also recovering post
Okay.
COVID. So you should not exercise for 3 months or something like that. So if you can just touch on that.
Okay, so for your first question, that does your exercise have to be based as per your body type or not? I would say your exercise should be based on only one important factor, and that is what makes you happy. Okay, so the exercise has to make you happy. You don't have to do the exercise because a trainer is standing on your head or because a nutritionist said you must. So for some, it could be a plain simple walk that makes them happy. For someone, it could be a run or a jog or a cycle or a swim. Do what makes you happy. Exercise should make you happy. Exercise should not feel like a burden or a chore that you have to do because someone has said you have to exercise. So do what makes you happy. Some people, functional makes them happy, someone Zumba makes them happy, someone aerobics makes you happy. Find your happy. That's your best exercise. Yes, if you're looking in for specific areas to be working on, that is a completely different answer. That is not my prerogative to answer. So I'm not telling you, oh, if you want to lose bicep, then you do this exercise. That's not my thing. So if you want focused results, of course, there you have to do focused exercise. But in general, exercise should make you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, it's a purpose defeat. Second, you should not exercise after COVID. I exercised while I was in COVID. Okay, so that's the best way to beat COVID, is to be able to exercise, because then you don't let your lungs collapse. You make sure that your lung capacity is good. You don't have to push yourself. So if I would exercise for 60 minutes regularly while in COVID, I would do 10 minutes, 20 minutes. After I recovered from COVID, I started with 30 minutes and then 40 minutes. And then gradually, today I might do 60 minutes, but you have to gradually step it up, because your energy levels were depleted post-COVID. And this post-COVID fatigue is a very common symptom that most people are facing.
Yes.
So you should exercise. Whoever told you not to exercise, I will not believe them. But do not do vigorous exercise, because in any case, the lungs are the ones that are affected in COVID. So you can't say, I'll do a vigorous form of activity, that you'll go breathless and then you'll have to be on the bed for 10 days. No. So gradually step up, but you must exercise. And again, if the exercise makes you happy, that's why you will want to exercise. So I used to exercise because I was fed up of not exercising. The exercise made me happy. And when you're happy, you'll be able to beat any disease faster than when you're not. So for you as well, Sonam, please try and make your husband do things that makes him happy, because that's the only way you can beat any disease. Because if you are emotionally drained out and emotionally upset about the situation and the fact that I'm being entirely fed or I can't do other things, that emotional drag doesn't let us heal and doesn't let us beat the cancer or the virus effectively. So please make sure that you make your husband do a few things that make him happy. It could be exercise, it could be, I don't know, watching a movie or interacting with friends or whatever it is. That quotient of feeling happy and yes, I can beat this, and yes, I will survive this, is very, very important mentally and emotionally to beat any disease.
Thank you so much,
Very
Pooja.
true.
Sonam,
I so agree with that.
I hope that
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much,
Thank
Sia.
you.
Yes. I love that, Pooja, that exercise should be your happy place.
True. So, Pooja, I'm now going to ask my Vice President to join us. Sumitadi, can you join us on screen?
Yes. Thanks, Pooja, for sharing your insight on happy, healthy lifestyle. There is lot of takeaway tips on good health and nutrition. Eat right to live right. Thanks for your time. Thanks to our members, online viewers, and the media for support. Now our President, Dia, will conclude. Thank you once again.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pooja. I think we all have to follow Pooja's guidance now on what to eat and what to delete. And of course, it's all there in her best-selling books for all of us to use as a ready reckoner. So eat small, eat often, and eat right. As it's clear that our relationship with food is a forever relationship and the most permanent relationship that we're going to have. So we must remain in control of it. Thank you again, Pooja. You've been just amazing, amazing. Thank you again so much. Stay safe, stay well, stay nourished, and I'll see you all on our next webinar. Thanks again, Pooja. Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone. Stay healthy. Bye bye.
Bye.